Let's move to the practical section. Of course, two things we'll discuss are genes, GenSpark, and Manus, and we'll see the difference. Let's say, between them. Of course, all the examples I'm presenting are not to promote one model over the other. I mean, the market is very competitive. But maybe we're just seeing how things are going. Any questions up to this point, or should we jump straight into the practical part? You can write quickly in the chat. Let's get started with the practical part that you're all eager for. Of course, I have diligently tried to summarize an entire 6-hour course into a concise 30 minutes so that we can all be on precisely the same page and have a shared understanding. All right, no, that was just someone sharing something else by mistake. Honestly, the first point is deep search. Deep search gives us incredibly comprehensive research results, really massive. And what's truly great about deep search is that it seamlessly exports the comprehensive results directly to Google Docs for me. Break time equals 0.5s/. So when I export it, all the essential hyperlinks and everything are fully included. So that's a really nice feature, let's say. Look at this example, for instance. Artificial intelligence and the job market. Artificial intelligence and the job market. I mean, I needed this. I want to show you the result directly to save time. I want a comprehensive academic research. This is the comprehensive academic research. Of course, always keep in mind that I use the word with an academic context, so it works properly. Let's say, let's say, serious way, write an academic paper. The impact of generative artificial intelligence on the job market. New opportunities. Let's open up the topic of what can be replaced and build a strategy on an international scale to learn new skills for the job market. It creates an initial plan for me. Give me the initial plan. If I have a comment, I give it and I tell it to start the research. It takes about 15 or 30 minutes, and then it gives me a nice report. Honestly, I actually like its report even more than ChatGPT's. For one reason, it has a feature called export. Honestly, this feature is really amazing. Why is it amazing? Because in the end, it lets you open a file. A comprehensive Google Doc, and the entire text is meticulously organized within it with clear references. I mean, with copy and paste, ChatGPT gives you references inside the text as it wants. So you need a human employee to sit and organize them. Thank God, it's not going extinct. Human work still needs an employee. Or, if you don't mind, keep copy pasting until God helps us and they fix it. Honestly, God did help us and they fixed it. Now, as we'll see, it generates a PDF and puts references at the end. Okay, this is a really important point. The second point is we clicked more than once, so the device froze. Let's just wait for it to finish opening the pages. The second point is this is really great in deep search. Notice here where it says search. Search in every way you can think of in English and in Arabic. Of course, here it's searching. Let's be honest and clear within what's available. I mean, honestly, some pages are locked and require a password. If someone is doing a PhD and tells me they can't access the articles because the university requires a subscription, then they're in the same situation as any regular person. If I tell my employee, Abdullah, please search for it, and Abdullah finds a site that needs a password, so he feels like he can't do anything, it's the same situation. We haven't reached the point where I give him the password yet, but we'll probably get there soon. We're stuck with privacy issues, the same problems people have. Can I give Abdullah my password so he can log in as a university professor instead of me and download the article or not? Is it difficult Easy, allowed, not allowed. Are there security risks or not? It's basically the same approach, let's say. The second really cool point is the new feature they released, which is video. Yeah, the video feature isn't available in every country, to be honest, especially in our dear European Union. I don't know, my friend. It's up to you how you want to see it, but it's for privacy reasons. So you need a VPN and you have to pick a country like South Africa, let's say, or the US, so that the video feature is available. Let me be honest with you, it's not as perfect as you might think. I uploaded a video today, and you'll get to see what goes on behind the scenes. Notice there are mistakes in the way the letters are generated at the top. Can you see them up there? There are also some errors here, one way or another. Of course, it usually comes with sound, but when you replay it, the sound doesn't come out, only the new version has sound. So, what I always do, always remember, there's a human touch involved. And I actually uploaded a video before about this, that this human touch or human intelligence can also be misleading, like in editing the final touch. I made this video. I did this to it. I enlarged it in editing to hide this and that image so it would look nice. Now, the really important point in the video. Let's simply just say, let me look at it with you. There aren't videos plus 10 plus 8. I mean, if you keep waiting, nothing will come out. But the really important idea here, I'll tell you what it is. When you want to generate a video that writes and speaks in Arabic, it's not enough to just give it a video description. Break time equals 0.5s forward slash, just a sentence in Arabic. It knows. What do you think I should do to make it speak in Arabic? I mean, this trick is always the one I have to put myself in the place of the language model. What is the trick? The trick is that I have to understand that this situation requires speaking in Arabic. Look at where we've gotten, I mean, with some really important issues. For example, if I tell it, give me a girl, and she's speaking Arabic, it still won't speak Arabic. But if I tell it an Egyptian girl walking through the streets of Cairo and speaking Egyptian Arabic, then it starts speaking Egyptian Arabic. Always notice this point. It's like assembling a puzzle. Same for Syrian Arabic. It's the same for other dialects. You'll probably tell me colloquial is better than standard Arabic. Why? Because it learned more from the colloquial. Okay, I know how to speak colloquial. I go to the bot and tell it, turn this sentence into colloquial Arabic. Like when you watch the video, she says, today we're opening Ahmed and Sarah's channel. Don't think that I'm just chilling, relaxed, and enjoying life. And he's writing today and learning Egyptian or Saudi or Levantine or whatever. No, I go and tell the bot, write it for me in the Syrian dialect, in the Egyptian dialect. So this is a really, really important point. There's also another great feature, which is Canva, that also lets you give it code and it executes it for me or creates a draft that's ready to be presented. So that's a really cool feature. If I want a really nice, pleasant, and cool interface, especially for videos, there's another great trick. If I have a specific image or a certain shot, I can ask the bot to write a description for that shot. Because the hard part is always figuring out how to write that shot. We have Abdel Kader here, an expert in cameras and filming, a director, as they say. He knows how to write. But honestly, I don't even know what I am. So if I want to tell it, like, draw pictures, it's as if I'm saying, you and your lord go and fight. That just doesn't work for me. So I can use the bot to describe the shot I want. And it gives it to me right here. I want the model that doesn't think, doesn't overthink. I want a model that doesn't think. Why? Because if I tell it to use the model that thinks, it assumes it's talking to a film director and starts writing out all these details. Like, it would take $1 million to actually make it happen. I just want the one that doesn't think, just tells me the camera shot. Notice here, this one is considered relatively nice. So this is a point you'll see a lot in the future with agents. Like the agent comes and says, "Give me the idea you have in mind," and you tell it a nice picture in the garden. And you find the result comes out wow. You say to yourself, "Mashallah, how did it make it so wow?" I'll just pass it along. First of all, ChatGPT writes the introduction that you didn't even write. This is behind the scenes. Then it passes it on to the one who draws, so the puzzle comes together. One really cool trick is that if you have a specific picture, you give it the picture and tell it, "Describe it for me." Like my friend sent me a picture. Just for fun, a nice breakfast table in London. Sorry, the whole vibe right now is like that. So I took this picture, went to the bot, and told it, "Explain it to me." Let's say in detail. This is a real photo. A real photo. I told it, "Describe the photo for me always." Remember, please, I have to give it something to embody as an artist, as a cinematographer. It gave me this description that, honestly, I could never write in my life. A sunny morning in a green garden, a scene from a narrative film, the dining table, eggs, olives. I told it, write it for me in English to turn it into a cinematic visual scene. An 8-second calm shot. Are you noticing the trick? Then I said, let's say, take a picture of it for me. Let's say, make it a video. So now, the cool thing about these updates is that they open a new door, but always. I mean, we need to put the puzzle pieces together, so we can go through them one by one and not forget. It's really powerful. I started searching, and it gives you something for free. The dragon video is also good, but the third one is definitely the strongest. Honestly, the difference between 2 and 3 is that the dragon ones don't talk, but number 3 does. With Canva, if I have something that needs a code, I give it to it and it draws it for me. So that's a really cool feature. Now, Google always has something. Let's say something hidden. Let's say more advanced, which is the AI Studio. That's where they first release features for programmers, and then it moves on to Gemini. So if someone is interested and wants to see how far the technology has come, they can go into AI Studio and they'll see a dashboard. I mean, it's a bit, let's say, complicated, but as a developer, you can get the API so you can use it in another program and you can see, let's say, what new features they're working on. For example, in AI Studio, there's a really cool new feature called Build, where you can create an application. You give it a description of the app, and at the very least, it will generate the interfaces and the initial draft for you right there in AI Studio. There's also image generation. Of course, there's video generation as well. AI Studio is usually free, so you can try these things out without a subscription. Let's say these kinds of topics. Oh, and audio generation is also available. It's all there. I don't feel like it was a hassle to use. No problem at all. Continuing with Google, let's move on to our dear friend, which is NodeLLM, NodeLLM. This was also released by Google. The nice thing about it is that there's both a free and a paid version. Everything paid is unlimited. What's great about Google is that when you subscribe to one thing, they all come together. So at first, honestly, I wanted to subscribe. But then when I saw that we get a terabyte on Google Drive and we get Notebook LLM and we get it in other places too, I got excited. What's nice about it is that here, when I create a new file, I can assign it. The various resources that I might want, whether it's a PDF document, a website, a YouTube video, or a Google document. Break time equals 0.5s forward slash Google Slides. I mean, I don't want everything, just 300 resources. And after that, I can interact with them, let's say, and it can also turn it into a podcast for me. So here, I could give it an article of mine, and then it turns it into a podcast. In this podcast, the two are talking to each other. I think you've seen it somewhere, and it's in Arabic, and you can download it on your phone. This update is really great. It can now be downloaded on your phone, so you can play it in the car and listen to the conversation. And to make it even better, you can actually jump into the conversation and interrupt it. Let me share the audio again, just in case we need sound. Share sound, just in case I need to test the audio. Today, we're going to talk about a feeling that many of us might have experienced. That feeling is doubting ourselves and our abilities. So here, I don't have any editing. I mean, I don't have editing like it generates for me either. If I want to do specific editing, then in the studio, a control panel pops up where I can assign the first speaker and the second speaker. Notice how, little by little, tricks become clear when you watch a video. Even I can do these tricks. But honestly, this is human effort, so you feel it's not just intelligence, but also effort. Last time, for example, I made a conversation between two people, but I created the dialogue. So when you hear it, you might say it's intelligence, but it's not really intelligence, because intelligence, I mean, it doesn't say the words exactly the way I want. First, I wrote the dialogue myself as an idea. Then I turned it into colloquial language with ChatGPT. Then I put it into AI Studio, sentence by sentence, and generated it. That way, I ended up with a conversation between two people exactly the way I wanted. I saved it and published it. So people always notice this, that this is always the story. Honestly, the note is really nice. Like in this story, in terms of knowledge and education, if someone has kids, it's really great for learning. With questions, they start talking to the resources and it transforms, for example. Even yesterday, I also had maybe some car offers, and I put together all the offers so they could discuss them. This one is nice, but more for families, but most of the others. This one has the cheapest rent. This is for 36 months, and things get, let's say, really good. But always make sure. This is a very important point with language models, and especially with Google. That is, it goes along with the mainstream. So if the file you're providing, you suspect it goes against the mainstream, make sure about this point. This is a very important point. For example, if you have a file that says passion isn't useful in life, my theory and all the literature says follow your passion, and all that nonsense, follow your passion. And then you came and turned it into, let's say, a podcast. It's not going to tell you that passion isn't useful. It's going to generate the content in the way it was trained. So pay attention to that. So here, on this point, I mean, when it comes to things that are agreed upon, there's no problem. But let's say when it comes to things that aren't agreed upon or are commonly discussed in a way that goes against what I want. So I need to pay attention to this issue.
Okay.
Now, there's a really important trick that I think you absolutely need to know. Like, how do I make it generate content in Arabic? Google's interface is a bit clunky. You need to go to the settings, output language, and choose Arabic. Otherwise, it takes it from the device settings. For example, my device settings are in English, but it's still generated in Arabic. Now, another cool thing about Note KLM is that it can generate a mind map for you. That's really awesome. A mind map. So, if you tell it to generate a mind map, it'll create this beautiful tree for you. And you can memorize it as well. Fadi Raush. I gave the CV. In the CV, education, doctorate, publications. It went to names, publications, clients. It went to the names of the clients. And I can save a specific point. So honestly, this update is really nice. That mind map supports Arabic. Oh, here I didn't even give it a CV, to be honest. I told it to search for my name on the internet, so it brought me everything related, let's say, to Fadi Amrash. I mean, when I told it source, I basically told it to look for everything I wanted. Like, I said I want this information, so it goes and searches, acting like an agent. It brought me all these sites that I had visited, and then it converted them into knowledge for me. So, honestly, the story here with Google is really cool. Notice that each person has a different point from the other.